Make sure you check out the Green Rush podcast, which features some of the most interesting people in legal cannabis doing some of the most noteworthy things. You can find the Green Rush over at greenrushpodcast.net and by searching any podcast service for the term Green Rush. This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now a national provider of hemp-derived CBD products via their new platform at easewellness.com, with ease spelled E-A-Z-E. If you haven't taken a minute yet to open up either ease.com or easewellness.com, you really need to get that done today because you're going to love how easy Ease makes legal cannabis delivery. In California, Ease partners up with only the top dispensaries in their active areas, which fulfill all the orders placed through ease.com in less than an hour. Golden State residents have a wide array of legal adult use products to pick from there. Those of us outside of California can dream about the day when Ease's adult use delivery lands in our state, and in the meantime can use easewellness.com to buy professionally curated CBD products, which come in the mail in just 4 to 6 business days after ordering, just as long as you're in one of the 41 U.S. states where Ease Wellness is active. One last time, just open up ease.com and easewellness.com for all your legal cannabis delivery needs. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, February 15th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 666 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We kick off the top of the end of the week's news with a big financing deal, with California-based Flow Kana closing on a $125 million round of funding from Gotham Green Partners of New York, making it the largest investment so far within the U.S. legal cannabis industry, beating out last year's $119 million Acreage Holdings deal. Flow Kana is both a producer and distributor in Northern California's legal marijuana market and has raised $175 million to date. The company's CEO, Michael Steinmetz, told Marijuana Business Daily that his company will use the proceeds of this latest round to expand its operations and to solidify its entire cannabis supply chain system. Yesterday in Massachusetts, the state's Cannabis Advisory Board voted in favor of a recommendation that the state's legal cannabis delivery program be restricted for 5 years to small companies and people from communities that have historically borne the worst effects of the government's war on marijuana. The advisory board is a 25-member group that serves the smaller 5-member Cannabis Control Commission, and the board's recommendations carry no weight beyond influencing the 5 members of the commission, one of whom I will gladly point out is our very own Shalene Title, an on-hiatus regular on our weekly show, Marijuana Today. Shalene is actually one of the main drivers in the state for pairing up legal cannabis reform work with social justice and equity programs like the delivery carve-out recommended yesterday by the Cannabis Advisory Board. Under the recommendation, approved delivery licenses would not require holders to be tied to a brick-and-mortar store, which would make it easier for entrepreneurs without large pools of capital to get involved in the industry. This is a good story to read in full. Swing over to the Boston Globe for the full dive in. Our final top story of the day and the week is a new study published yesterday in the American Journal of Drug and Alcohol Abuse that looked at a whole mountain of data on cannabis use by youth and came to the conclusion that in states that legalized marijuana, the usage rate for marijuana by younger folks did not rise, and in fact went down a little bit. The study also found that the longer a state has legal cannabis, the less kids use it, suggesting that legalizing marijuana is actually a really fantastic way to keep kids away from it. Who would have thought that putting in place a legal system that goes out of its way to only sell to adults of age would make it harder for kids to buy a bag? Throw in the fact that nerdy parents are now using cannabis, which has to erode some of marijuana's cool sheen for teens. I'd give this one a read as well today. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now a national provider of hemp-derived CBD products via their new platform at easewellness.com. Swing over to ease.com and check out their list of recommended product picks. where you'll find pre-rolls from Pacific Stone, vape pens from Dom Pen, edibles from Punch Edibles, G-Pack inserts by Kaliva, concentrates from Loud Pack, and more. You'll be hard-pressed to find a legal way to consume cannabis that's not available on eaze.com, spelled E-A-Z-E. And when you place orders in a part of California where Eaze is active during legal delivery hours, your products will show up at your door in less than an hour, which for an old guy like me still seems like a little bit of magic. And for all of us outside of California, eazewellness.com is there in 41 U.S. states with hemp-derived CBD products delivery through the mail. Whatever your legal marijuana delivery needs are, the chances are getting better by the day that Eaze can be there for you. One more time, just open up eaze.com and eazewellness.com. Big thanks to everyone at Eaze for helping make our show possible. All right, time for the Blitz. Canadian marijuana giant Canopy Growth released its latest financial results yesterday for the fiscal quarter ending in December. You should swing over to New Cannabis Ventures for the full read on this one, as there are a lot of details and numbers to digest, but some of the top-of-the-line items include gross sales of just under $100 million, and record high net revenues of $83 million and net income of $75 million. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Intermountain Healthcare of Utah, the state's largest healthcare provider, gave the green light this week to its doctors to recommend medical marijuana. Utah is in the process of rolling out a limited medical cannabis system after voters first passed a ballot measure last fall, followed by state lawmakers passing a more conservative system via the legislative process. Bouncing down to Arkansas, the Associated Press and Marijuana Business Daily are reporting that a proposed bill to add 39 new conditions to the state's list of medical cannabis qualifying conditions has been killed in its first House committee, going down via votes in the House Rules Committee yesterday. Arkansas currently allows for people living with 18 conditions to register as medical patients, and the new list would have added autism, attention deficit disorder, and Parkinson's, among 36 others. Bloomberg has a really interesting piece up that speaks to the evolution of the legal cannabis industry, dipping into the world of debt financing. As marijuana shrugs off its cultural taboos and laws loosen up regarding its legal business, financiers and other people with very large pools of investment money have been increasingly getting into the industry, especially up in Canada, which regular listeners know legalized adult use marijuana nationwide last October. Maybe not a bad story to read, if only to educate yourself on the topic of debt financing. Mr. Kyle Yeager over Marijuana Moments picked up on some news in New York City, where on Wednesday, city council members introduced 10 new proposed marijuana-related resolutions and 2 bills. Kyle's story is a great roundup of all the details on this, which also speaks to the evolution of the industry. New York City is going to be a very interesting place with legal cannabis. With the back-to-back twofer, Kyle returns with a story out of Missouri, where a bill to expunge the criminal records of certain medical marijuana patients has been successfully passed out of its first legislative committee. House Bill 341 passed 7-2 out of the House Special Committee on Criminal Justice and was introduced by Republican Representative Ron Hicks. Another good story to read for all the details while you're over reading Kyle's previous piece. And finally for today, Reason is reporting that a young marijuana activist is being charged by marijuana police for live streaming a meeting with a congressional staffer last October on Facebook without the staffer's knowledge. Maryland is a 2-party consent state, so both people caught on a tape need to be aware and consenting of the recording. Otherwise, there's a whole lot of potential trouble for the taper. In this case, 20-year-old Jake Burdett met with a staffer of Republican Representative Andy Harris of Maryland after a protest at one of Harris's offices. During that meeting, Burdett ran a stream on Facebook Live of the meeting without telling the staffer, which the Maryland State Police later found out about, moving them to file charges. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again Monday morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.